Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live, where we will talk about the YALI Mandela Washington Fellowship program. What's the program? What you need to expect from the program? How to apply for the program? And today we will have Alex Burns, our public diplomacy officer here at the U.S. Embassy in Madagascar and Comoros, to present on the program, and then myself, Manuina Lalarfuni, public engagement specialist here at the Embassy as well. So we will be leading the recruitment for 2025, and we are glad to offer some tips and great information for you who are considering to apply for the program. So without further ado, we will start with the slides, and please feel free to add your questions in the comments if you have them, because in the end we will have time to address your questions. So over to you, Alex.
Welcome, everyone. This is an exciting opportunity to learn about applying for the 2025 Mandela Washington Fellowship, an incredibly prestigious opportunity, part of the YALI network of programming. We'll be discussing a program overview, the fellowship provisions, eligibility and selection criteria, as well as application information today. So as mentioned, this is part of the YALI, the Young African Leaders Initiative program overview. We have the YALI Network, the largest of the programs. We have the Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders, the first and most prestigious aspect of this umbrella of programs, as well as the YALI Regional Leadership Centers, which are a very, very cool opportunity that we'll be telling you about today. So a little bit of information about the Mandela Washington Fellowship. It began in 2014 under President Barack Obama, intended to empower young people aged 25 to 35 to be leaders in their communities, their countries, and across Africa. And the fellowship involves academic coursework, leadership training, and I think perhaps most exciting, networking. And you get to meet some pretty incredible people from all over Africa. This year, the application launched just a few days ago, about a week ago, August 13th, and the final date to apply will be September 10th. We always look for opportunities to advance diversity and inclusion, so we're really looking for people from all over Madagascar and Comoros, from all kinds of backgrounds. Please apply if this sounds interesting to you. If you are selected, you'll have an incredible alumni network of over 7,000 fellowship alumni that you can connect with. And we've really seen this is a life-changing opportunity. And of course, this is a no fee. This will cost you absolutely no money to participate in this incredible program. So as mentioned, the Leadership Institutes, every year throughout all the participating countries, we select 700 fellows for a 6-week intensive program. There are 28 institutes across the United States to study leadership under the 3 tracks of business, civic engagement, or public engagement. And here's a few more information. I won't read everything to you, but this is, again, a leadership opportunity, a leadership skill and expertise advancing experience. So leadership in business, leadership in civic engagement, leadership in public management. You can see opportunities like business ethics, like strategic planning, intersection of civil society with business and government, resource management. There's an incredible breadth of and diversity of opportunities and things to learn about. Each institute features several core components. So as I said, academic coursework is an important part of this. You will be expected to complete some studying, and then you'll also get to do some leadership training. You'll get to participate in what we call Ignite Talks, which are professional speakers on related topics that you get to engage with, really world-renowned speakers. There'll be cultural visits, community service, relationship building. You'll get to see quite a lot of the United States in the community that you're placed in, as well as, again, the incredible networking opportunities. And each of the 28 institutes is unique, and they'll have different topics and activities. The summit is the concluding event, the real pinnacle where all 700 fellows from all the participating countries come together in Washington for networking and panel discussions with U.S. leaders from the public sector, private sector, and nonprofit organizations. This is a really cool opportunity. I would be delighted to be a participant for this part. It's pretty awesome. As mentioned, there are some great professional development experiences as well. You'll spend 4 weeks at a U.S. non-governmental organization, business, or government agency, learning best practices and how to bring things back to Madagascar and Comoros and better your community. You'll need to submit a supplemental application essay to apply. This is in addition to the regular fellowship experience. And you can gain practical training, learn new skills, further expand your growing network, and really get to apply those concepts that you learned. And up to 100 of the 700 fellows get to participate in this. So it's on top of this already really awesome experience. There's also a lot of alumni opportunities and resources. This is a photo of one of our past participants. This is really a gateway to success, to access to resources. And it never ends just with the program. There's always follow-on experiences and opportunities that we urge you to take advantage of if you're selected for this program.
Yes, that sounds really exciting, and I would also want to participate, but of course I'm not eligible. But for you who are interested in applying, you may have questions like what are covered if I participate in this program, and what are the expectations of me? So that's why we're going to talk next, the provisions for the fellowship. So what will be provided to you? So you will receive the visa to go to the United States for the program, and your round trip flight ticket will also be provided. And if there are some trips that you will do in the United States, these are also provided if these are part of the program. Of course, your participation in the 6-week Leadership Institute, in the 1-week or a few days summit, and also your participation in the PDE if you're selected for the professional development experience. You will also receive a limited health coverage plan. We can talk a little more about that next. And then your housing and meals during the whole program will also be covered. Yes. And now what will not be covered, it's also good to know that. So please be aware that the program is not meant to supplement income for the fellow or to cover costs from home. And if you have some excess baggage as well, this will not be paid by the program. And as per what I just said, the health coverage is a little limited. So there are a few things that will not be covered by the health insurance that will be provided to you. So you'll get more information on that when you are selected. High-tech devices will not be provided as part of the program as well. Yeah, and that's also good to know. Now, it's good to know the visa regulations are also good to know for you if you're considering to apply for the program, because you will need to apply for a J1 visa. That's how we call it. So the requirements are that you come back to your home country after the program, and you're not allowed to do any paid employment in the United States. No dependents will be allowed to join you during your stay in the United States, and no visa transfers or extensions will also be given. So that's good to know. Now, if you want to apply, please check if you're eligible to apply first. So what are the eligibility requirements? So you need to be aged 25 to 35, but exceptional applicants ages 21 and 24 will still be considered. And you shouldn't be a U.S. citizen nor a permanent resident of the United States. You should be eligible to receive a U.S. J1 visa as per the last slide. And people who apply for the program should not be employees or immediate family members of employees of the U.S. government and all the other U.S. government agencies. you should be proficient in English because all the programs, the networking, the activities will be conducted in English. For those applicants who are deaf, then you also need to be proficient in the American Sign Language or ready to learn that language as well. And the applicants should be citizens and residents of an eligible sub-Saharan African country. So Comoros and Madagascar are all eligible for that program. And of course, you shouldn't be an alumni of the Mandela Washington Fellowship already. But if you have participated in the other YALI programs, the YALI Network or the regional institutes, the RLC programs, then you're still eligible to apply. Now, let's talk about what makes an ideal fellow for the program, what makes your application strong. So you need to have a record of leadership and accomplishment in the track that you will be applying for. Remember, Alex has said that we had 3 tracks, and you need to know which one you want to focus on, which one you have the best experience and biggest experience in. You should also have commitment to public or community service, to mentoring and all these other things. And you need to be able to work cooperatively in diverse groups and have social and communication skills, and especially knowledge, interest, and professional experience in your sector, in the track that you've chosen, may it be public management, civic engagement, or business and entrepreneurship. And of course, you need to be committed to return to your country or to Africa to use what you have learned and to contribute your talents and skills to build and serve your communities. We've also mentioned that we encourage applications from everyone because we know that we can have strong applications from people with special needs or with disabilities. So please consider applying if you meet the eligibility criteria. If you need disability support in the program, we want to do our best to allow you to fully participate and engage in the program. So special and reasonable accommodations will be provided, and you will receive more information on that after your application and selection. Same for people who are pregnant or who may become pregnant. We still encourage applications from you. So please do consider applying for the program as well. You will receive more information on what resources or what other support we will be providing, but please don't consider that as a hindrance for you to apply for the program, because we want to include everyone in this program as well. Now, all the information have been given mostly about what's the program and what are the eligibility criteria. Now, how to apply. So you need to apply between August 13th and September 10th, 2024. And the applications are submitted online. You can see in the slide the link to go to the online portal for you to apply. And you will be requested to provide basic information on yourself, your contact information and everything, your resume information, personal statements where you will have to answer some essay questions. And that's where you need to let us know what you have been able to do, what you are planning to do, so that we can select you for the program. We will also ask if you had some US experience, previous experiences, and of course, your English language proficiency. Kindly note that there's no test required for the English proficiency. You just need to demonstrate it in your written application and then in the interview process if you're selected for that next step. Now, preparing a strong application. Please take time to prepare a strong application, because this program is very, very competitive. We are receiving many applications and have a relatively small slot for people to participate in the program. So it's very important that you work hard to make your application strong so that you can stand out. So don't procrastinate. Start right now, because there could be questions that you need to prepare in the application that you may need time for. And also be original. Write original stories about yourself, some anecdotes, and things that will show your impact on your community. However big or small, use real stories and examples. Don't just state things, but say how you did it specifically, and so that we can know what you've been doing, and not only what you have been able to do, but what you're also planning to do. So be sure to include all of that. You can also visit the website for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, where you can have a lot of other tips from alumni and from readers and reviewers that could also be very helpful. And of course, you can also ask questions during this Facebook Live if you have more questions about any tips that you would like to have. Now, very important, please be sure that you use your own words, your own stories in the application that you will be submitting. Plagiarism is a very important thing, and for your information, a few applicants from Madagascar and Comoros have been disqualified because of plagiarism last year. So please be sure to use your own words. And so if you need to copy paste or to use other people's words, be sure to credit your sources. And we also do not encourage the use of artificial intelligence, because most of the time we could see that people used the tool, because what they would say would be a little vague and duplicative, and that could result in your application getting poor scores. And now the application timeline. So apply between August 13th and September 10th. Around November and January, typically for Comoros and Madagascar, we have December and January timeline for the interviews. So you can expect calls or emails from us by that time. And it's only in late March 2025 that you will receive the result of your application if you have been called for the interviews. In May 2025, that's when we do the visa processing and pre-fellowship orientations, and the fellowship will actually start in June 2025. Now, what are your next steps? If you haven't gone to the website yet, that's your next step. Go to the website and read the information there and start your application if you're interested. And these are also social media platforms that you could follow to get more information, to see some tips, and to have some stories from other alumni if you're interested as well. And be sure to mark your calendar so that you're not late in the application that you submit. Now, it's question time already. We just gave you the overall information about the program to give you time to ask specific questions if you have them. So please feel free to ask, and we'll try to answer as much as we can.
I saw one from Olivia in the chat. She said she's 23 and she thought she was ineligible. As we mentioned, we do read those applications for exceptional folks age 21 to 24. So please do apply, Olivia. We want to see your application, and I will be looking for it, okay?
Yes. Do we have other questions? Now from Sandy Nosia Raza. Hello all, is it mandatory the age not more than 35? Yes, Alex just mentioned that if you're aged 21 through 24, that's okay. But for the people who are aged more than 35, unfortunately, that's not going to be okay for this program, for this specific program. So we encourage you to look at other opportunities that we can also offer for those people as well.
Definitely. I also saw, what is the goal of YALI Mandela Washington Fellows? And there's an official answer, but I think the simple answer is that we are looking to support exceptional young Africans, such as a lot of you on this call, and take them to the United States and give them some really incredible opportunities to grow and network and learn things that they can bring back to their home countries to make their countries, their communities, and the world a better place.
Yes. And if you get to talk with the alumni, they have a lot of great stories of what they have learned, what they could accomplish after the fellowship. It's really exciting and inspiring. Another question from Diana Numenzanahar. What if I'm just giving birth at 2 months on beginnings fellowship? Can I still apply now? Chris?
So if your child is 2 months old at the beginning of the fellowship, you will not be able to bring your child on this fellowship. However, if you mean that you're going to give birth 2 months into the fellowship, that is allowed. We would need to talk to you and help support you. But it's a conversation for after you're accepted for the program. So if you would give birth after arriving in the United States, please do apply. Or if you are willing to participate in the program and leave your baby with your family, please also apply. But if you're unwilling to leave your baby, which would be understandable, we encourage you to apply next year.
Yes, because this is open every year. What about the application? Please feel free to add more specific questions if you have some, but to try to answer. So the applications are due online. So you just go to the website and submit your applications online. You add all the information that is required there, and people that will review the applications will see everything that you have submitted before September 10th.
September 10th. And don't start on September 10th,
Please.
Folks. Start early. Ask questions. Reach out to us.
Yeah.
If we see a Facebook comment asking for help, a specific question, on any of our posts about YALI and Mandela Washington, we can help you. So please start early, and that way you don't miss the deadline, because we don't want to miss any of the incredible people that are on the call today.
Mm-hmm. Now, a question from Zato Matias raha efa nameno tamin'ny herintaona dia ampiana fotsiny ve ny information iny sa manao ahoana? He's asking if he's already applied last year, will he need to just add information to the application that he submitted? So the answer to that is we are using a new, not a new, but another platform for every year. So you will not be able to go back to your previous application. You will have to start over again. But if you had some copies of what you've submitted last year, you could still use that. But of course, you would need to do some updates. So this is also useful for everyone. Once you have clicked on the submit, you will not be able to change anything and to add anything to your application anymore. You will have to do it before you submit your application. So that's why you are so not, you don't have access to your previous application, because it has already been submitted. So you will start a new application.
And this is a very competitive. Only 700 people from all across the sub-Saharan African countries.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were not selected, it does not mean that you are not a good applicant. It just means there's a lot of really amazing people out there.
Yeah.
So I do very much encourage you to apply again. I see a question asking about the number per country. We don't even know that. It's really about the applications that come through. If there are not very many applications from Madagascar, there will not be very many, opportunities. So we encourage everybody to apply, to show the people running YALI back in Washington that Madagascar is full of amazing people who deserve to be on this program.
Mm-hmm.
So please, please, please apply.
Yes. So Kuli Divina is asking, is there any degree required? There is no degree required. So you will not be required to submit your transcripts. These are optional, but this is just for us to see what you have already done, what you have already studied, but these are not requirements. If there's anything that you have done academically or professionally that will help us assess your leadership skills and your experience, we would love to see them. If you don't have any university degrees, please don't think that you can't apply, because you can, because this is not required. We are looking into your experience and knowledge that you can demonstrate in the application that you'll submit. So, Benny, I'm in the private sector working within an NGO more precisely. Which track is suitable for me, please, if I want to pursue the path, leadership for public management or civic engagement? So if you're working in a local NGO, then you will be focusing more on the civic engagement track. And if you go to the website, you will have more information about each track that will really help you know the kind of people they are looking for each track and the kind of topics that will be addressed for each track. And it's very, very important that you look closely to those information before choosing the track that you will apply for.
Let's see Murato's question about applying with similar information from last year. Will that be picked up as plagiarism? No. If it's your words, it'll be fine. The plagiarism tracker searches the broader public internet, so your previous application will not trigger it. If it's similar, if you've posted similar information on LinkedIn, it might find that, but it will show us that it's on LinkedIn or something like that. We'll know it's not a problem. It's very, very sophisticated, so don't worry about that. Please just submit your authentic, true self.
And be sure to update and share more information if you've submitted applications before, because it could mean that you still could add a few other things to make your application stronger. And of course, 1 year has passed already, so there could be a lot of updates that you want to add in your application. So we believe you're not going to submit the exact same application that you've submitted before. You can use your words, and you can also add a few information and updates. So is it necessary to have previous volunteering experience? That's one of the criteria that we're looking at. If you are committed to serving your community somehow, and volunteering experiences could really help. It doesn't mean that this is the only way to serve your community, but it's really something we're looking into. If there have been other ways that you have done that, and please be sure to include that in your application so that we could see it.
All kinds of service to your community, that's just one way.
Is it mandatory to have a certificate for all the previous activities? Yes, so in the application portal, it's not required. It's optional for you to add your certificates or transcripts or things like that you want to add. However, we have all the rights to request those if you have mentioned them in your application at a later date. If you do not include them in your application, we don't always do that, but we do have the right to do that.
James asks if he has a project, a startup, can he apply to YALI Mandela Washington Fellows? Absolutely, please do apply, James.
Yes, and be sure to record everything you've done before as well, and everything that you're planning in the future for you to apply. So are there internships or scholarships related to tourism and hospitality? And so Fanilo's question could be related to other programs that we could do in the United States. For the Mandela Washington Fellowship program, we call it fellowship. So it's a leadership training in the United States for 6 weeks and a few more days. For you to learn to study civic engagement, public management, and entrepreneurship and business specifically. But if you are working on one of those tracks, and if you're interested in how the program is designed, please feel free to check and to apply as well for the program if that's of interest to you.
Looks like we have an alumnus in the chat here, and who shares the Mandela Washington Fellows changed her life both personally and professionally. She discovered her real potential, and that's what it's all about. And it's so exciting. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm jealous of all of you who are going to get to go on this program. It is a really incredible opportunity. It is life changing, and just the people you meet are wonderful.
Thank you very much for sharing, Umi. Other alumni, if you're also joining us today, please feel free to to share some comments about how this program has changed your life, or any other tips that you want to share with potential applicants as well. Do we have more questions here? So please feel free to still ask questions even after this presentation. If you have questions, we could still assist with that. Alumni out there, if you have some stories or tips that you want to share, please feel free to do that as well. Before we actually end, Alex, do you have any other additional comments?
Just again, please start your application soon. Do not doubt yourself. This is all, in America, anything is possible, and that's what this is all about. All right. And all of you have an opportunity to do this program. So please do apply, begin your application soon. As my colleague said, you can reach out to us on social media with questions. The best way is to comment on posts about YALI Mandela Washington Fellows on our Facebook. So specifically those posts about YALI Mandela Washington Fellows. And we'd be happy to answer your specific questions. But definitely go to the website and take your time and read everything very closely first. Because if and you can also contact our partner organization, IREX, at the email on the screen there. But just very excited for all of you. This is such a cool opportunity. Yeah. And those of you who are lucky to be selected, it'll really change your lives.
Thank you very much, Alice. And just as mentioned, please be sure to proofread your applications before you submit it. Do everything that's required before you click on the submit button. And if you have applied before, once, twice, 3 times, or how many times you have applied, we still encourage you to apply. Make sure that you update your application and make it stronger as per the tips that we shared. We have testimonies of several alumni who have applied 3 times, 4 times for the program before they got selected. So don't get discouraged, and please make sure that you record great stories of your impacts and what you're planning to do for your community in your application.
I see Benny's follow-up question. Benny, your application is going to be more competitive for the track that you have the most experience in. So I would stick with the one that we recommended before, and you're going to learn some incredible things either way. And I would just give you the advice that you're more likely to be selected for an area you already have experience in. And if in the future you want to adjust your career, that's perfectly fine. But if you don't have experience in the public management sector, you're not going to be a competitive applicant. So I would stick with the other one, the civic engagement one.
And just another additional comment on the choice of track. We know that you, as one person, you could do a lot of things that could be that could fall into different tracks. But please choose one track for which you have the most experience, and link most of the information that you add into your application to that track. Because if you add a lot of other information that may not be very relevant, it could confuse the reviewers and the readers. So it's very important that you choose your track and then have all your the information in your application mostly related to that track you're applying for.
I see Abedine's question: can you apply for this opportunity and still apply for the green card? It's a tricky question. The real point of this program is to return to Africa. And so you need to demonstrate that in your application. And applying for permanent residence, which is what the green card is in the United States, is not a strong indicator that you plan to return to Africa and have a big impact, which is why the US government is funding this program, because we believe Africa is the future and we really want to invest in that. So this program is not about investing in people who are going to move to the United States and become a permanent resident. It's about those leaders who are going to come back and make a difference.
Could you please explain again all the stuff needed?
Go to the website. I go to the website, read again. There's a lot of information we post on Facebook. This mwfellows.info/applytips, not mwfellows, mwfellows.
Yes.
Sorry about that typo, but yeah, mwfellows.info/applytips. Please read. And then if you still don't understand something, go to Facebook, go to our Facebook pages for Comoros or Madagascar, and find the YALI post and comment on that.
Yes. Okay, another question. Even if we we haven't built many things in our lives, yet can we apply for it? What I mean is, if I don't have many experience.
So I would say you should apply, but really think back to all the ways that you've been a leader. Look at the questions in the application and take some time and think. Students can be extraordinary leaders too. I don't want anybody to decide I'm not good enough and not apply, because most likely you are good enough. You just need to find a way to explain your success to us. So please apply, but take your time, open the application today and start looking at those questions and thinking about how to share your story and share your value with the United States.
Yes, and I just want to note as well that experience isn't always a paid employment or a paid job. You could have impact in your communities through volunteer activities, through you going to church and serving the people there, through you serving the community of students in your school, whatever kind of activities that you have done that could have served your community and have impact. These are experiences already. Sometimes we think that we need to have paid jobs to have experiences, but that's not always true.
See another alumnus, Jose here. Awesome to see you, man. And he's totally right. Life-changing, and start that application early. Do not begin, or don't even submit it on the 10th. Submit it earlier than that, because you might have a computer problem. Every year I have people, coming and calling and crying and saying, "Oh, I lost my power. I couldn't submit it on time, and I can't accept those applications. I wish I could, but I can't." So please do apply early. Jose is absolutely right. I see a comment about folks who are living in France. You would need to demonstrate that you intend to return to Madagascar or Comoros, and you have a serious plan to do that. Because if you're living in France and go on this exchange and return to France, that's not what we're doing here. It's Young African Leaders Initiative. So you need to be making an impact in Africa is the real deal here.
Yes.
So in your application, you would need to explain in great detail your plan to come back to Madagascar or Comoros and make an impact.
Yeah, so your plan after the fellowship is very important, that it needs to be focused on Africa, but also at the time of the application, if you're a resident of a non-Sub-Saharan African country, then you would not be eligible for the program if at that moment you're not a citizen and resident of an eligible African country. So this is something you need to consider as well. So you could also consider applying for a time when you are back to an eligible Sub-Saharan African country.
Absolutely. As a doctor, which track do you suggest? Perhaps civic engagement. What do you think?
Yes, it depends on what you're doing as a doctor. Are you a part of an NGO? Are you part of a private company to do consultations? Are you part of a public institution when you do your thing as a doctor? So it really depends on where you're doing that doctor employment that you're doing. But like last year, we had one doctor, a medical doctor, who was selected for the public management track because she's working for a public institution. So it really depends.
And also what your goals are. Like if your goal is to improve the quality of healthcare in public hospitals and public management, if your goal is to reduce the cost of procedures in the private medical market, then maybe entrepreneurship. I see a few more questions about the application. We can throw the website on there. Again, public hospital, so perhaps public management. But again, it really depends on your goals and what you want to do when you return. We'll show the application, the other one, please. This one, mwfellows.info/apply. That's where you start. Okay. So for all of you asking about the application, that's where you go. Please write it down.
Yes. And please go directly to the website, even right now.
Go right now.
Yes.
Don't wait.
Thank you for all the great questions and the comments. Thank you, Alex, for today, and for everybody here from the embassy who made this live possible today. So we wish you good luck for all who are trying to apply, and please be sure to spread the word about the program to people that you know that could be great candidates for the program. And feel free to ask if you have questions, and to go back to this presentation if there's anything that you may have missed, and to go to the website where you will have all the information that you will need for this program. And we hope to meet you soon, probably in the interviews. Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.